Hello, this is a product review of the Creality CR10S 3D printer, and I hope to save you some money and time by sharing my experiences with you. With that said, there are several aspects of any 3D printer that can be included in this review, but my focus is only to cover particular pros and cons that stood out to me. My name is Stephen Raymond, and I have several years of experience as a mechanical engineer, and I hope to add value by sharing my experience in the area of 3D printing. Okay, let's get started with the review. Just for the record, I'm still on my quest for a go-to 3D printer, or what I would consider to be my little workhorse, which means that the 3D printer is under $1,000 and requires minimal maintenance, like changing clogged nozzles, re-leveling the print bed, and minor troubleshooting of bad prints, which is relative to the quality of the filament. So I just made the leap again and made a purchase. I was very excited to have received my partially assembled Creality CR10S on August 7, 2018. And it worked good after I assembled the unit and did the standard startup procedures like loading the slicer software and the bed leveling. So let's look at some pros and get started. The first pro for the CR10S is that it's under $1,000, and actually this 3D printer was like $500, and the build plate is the largest build plate that I've purchased, so it's a good deal. Another pro is that it has the heated bed, so that allowed me to print various types of filament. And the bed leveling was pretty simple because the controller, all you have to do is press the knob on the controller and it goes to 4 or 5 points, and you use manual adjustable knob that's underneath the bed, which is typical for your manual bed leveling 3D printers. Has a good hot end on it, and what's good about the hot end, it's easy to change out and it's easy to access the nozzle. You can easily remove it and replace it, unlike the Prusa. The stepper motors worked well. They're a little louder than some of your other 3D printers that have the shrouds around them and the sheet metal, but they work well. Easy to assemble. Even though it was shipped in 2 pieces, it was very easy to erect one piece and put it on top of the other one. Basically, you have a horizontal piece and a vertical piece. You take the vertical piece and put it on top of the horizontal one and screw in a few bolts, and you're good to go. The controller, it worked as it's expected, and the only issue is that in cold conditions you could hear the fans, but after it warmed up, then everything was fine. The LCD screen was pretty clear. It's not a touch screen, but you have a knob on it, similar to the Prusa and other machines, other 3D printers. Easy to use, easy to function, and you can see what you're doing. Customer service was also average or above average, because I could actually go online and order parts. That's important because at some point the 3D printer is going to fail and you're going to have to be able to replace parts, and you can easily do that. Unlike the Wise Tech, I had a Wise Tech and they stopped selling spare parts, so I was stuck with a 3D printer that I can't use anymore. So customer service is good because you can actually repair and continue to use the 3D printer. Now let's move on to some cons. I only have 4 cons for the Creality CR10S. The first one is the filament feeder has no enclosure, difficult to transport, and a removable glass build plate. The no enclosure is important because if I wanted to print with ABS, so there's no way I could make that work, because every time I would try it would warp because I couldn't control the temperature. The direct drive, I wanted to print in flexible or nylon material filament, and I couldn't do that either because the drive isn't directly attached to the extruder itself. It's difficult to transport because it has a large footprint, and as you can see over here, the controller is separate, it has its own separate module. So I've tried to transport it before, and I would have to take this and then put it on something separate and then disconnect these cables and then move it, which is very difficult. Unlike the Prusa, you could just unplug it from the wall and grab it right here, and then you off and running. But Prusa is smaller than this CR10S. And the build plate, as you can see here, I've had to chisel off parts from the removable glass build plate. It's good that it's removable from the actual 3D printer, but you do have to, if you have some glue that's holding down your part, then you will have to chisel it off. But what I did is purchased a flexible metallic build plate, and all I had to do is bend the build plate because it's flexible and the part would pop off. So that made my life much easier. I saved a lot of time with this metallic build plate. Okay, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you very much.